In today's video, it's the first time I've seen one of these in the wild, and another first. It's the Wasabi Cars assigned numerical grading, or I was gonna keep a straight face, or W.A.N.G. G'day everyone, this is Daniel O'Grady. Thank you very much for joining me for another Wasabi Cars video. I hope you're doing well, and this one is a very special video if I do say so myself. The car is an early 70s Mitsubishi Minica skipper, and this will be the first car to receive a numerical grading that I want to institute for all future feature cars on this channel. A score that I can measure against other cars to see how Wasabi Cars worthy they are, and I want to get this right. What I'm calling this grading system, it's the Wasabi Cars assigned numerical grading, or I was gonna keep a straight face, or W.A.N.G. And today's car is very Wasabi Cars compliant, I'm sure it is, so no doubt it will have a very impressive W.A.N.G, and I would ask you to stick around to the end of the video where I will explain the criteria and we'll see how this car measures up. But for now, let me just set the context for this video. I was doing some car spotting in southern Kyushu. In particular, my goal was Higashi Bankin. Yep, that rotary powered Ken Mary. Such an amazing car, and if you haven't seen that video, do check it out. But anyway, I was driving around, I saw some amazing cars. I found this lot here. There was a few Hino Contessa coupes and a bunch of other interesting cars, including this antique Datsun truck. Just amazing. Anyway, but somewhere between here and there, I spotted this Mitsubishi Minica Skipper 4. Okay, now I'm not a big fan of documenting myself jumping over a fence without permission, so I'm going to be using some footage from the Mitsubishi Auto Gallery where I did see another one of these, and ironically I never got to see the back of that one, so I'm going to put these sources of footage together to make this video. Yep, so here we are at Mitsubishi headquarters at their auto gallery. I don't know if it's still open, but anyway, it's looking like a baby GTO, is it not? And the rear quarter styling, they sort of have similarities, which is cool. And of course, the overall vibe of the car, definitely, it has absorbed some styling cues from the era, but that's of course pretty normal. And it is a kei-car, it's got the 359cc engine. Now this one would have the dual carburetor setup, and that would produce 32 metric horsepower. Now the feature car is an LL grade, that would have the single carburetor, so we're looking at the high 20s in the metric horsepowers. But just looking at the front of the car again, it looks like they really crammed a whole lot of front of a car into a small car, does it not? And do you see the little LL badge behind the door there? Just keep that in mind because I've got some info about that in just a sec. But I want to talk about the back of this car. A couple of very interesting things about it. Number one, frameless hatch. Glass hatch. Pretty cool. And this is what, 1971 to 74? Pretty amazing. Next, there's a second window above the tail lights. Yes, like your Honda CRX, like your some other cars. But this is early 70s. And here's a snappy little montage that I stole from my first video of the orange one. But anyway, in the bottom right corner, you can see GT is 44.3 mun N. I'm not going to get into it, but that's a value of currency. And then the next grey down is your LL, which is, I think, is what we've got here. Next is LL with stereo. Okay, I don't know if it's got a stereo. Anyway, and then there's one grade below that, the absolute base grade, that's the SL. So anyway, right in the middle there is the LL, today's car. Okay, now it's time to unveil this criteria. It's very simple, and I want it to apply to many cars. But anyway, there are three main pieces of criteria. I don't know what the singular is. Or plural. Anyway, three things, and then there's some multipliers based on certain factors. Anyway, number one is the vibe. Is it aesthetically pleasing? And you know, this is the Wasabi Cars channel. Rusty cars are a thing. Does it look good? If it's modified, is it just sweet? The aesthetic, the whole thing? I'd give it 5 out of 5. The top score is 5, right? Next is the would own. And there is in brackets here, in drivable condition. Sadly, this car is not in drivable condition, but let's imagine it were in drivable condition. Would own 100% yes, so we're talking 5 out of 5 yet again. And the third one is far from stock. Oddly, the more stock it is, which is the opposite, is 5. Because I like stock, right? It's the Wasabi Cars assigned numerical. Hey. So I just want to say FFS for reasons. This one looks pretty stock. Now I didn't check the oil filter and the muffler, but let's just say it's pretty stock. So 5 out of 5. Those 3 are 5 out of 5s. And now the multipliers, which whatever that total score is, we just multiply. And that's for each and every one. Now the first multiplier is if it's a unicorn, whether a unicorn as new or a unicorn in the present age. This car absolutely is in the present age, so that 15 points we multiply by 2. Next, is it JDM or Aussie? These are the two things closest to my heart. The car is JDM, we multiply by 3. So that's 15 multiplied by 2, that's 30 multiplied by 3, right? This is how we do it. Next, it has steel bumpers. I love this era of car. If it has steel bumpers, we add the multiplier by 4. So we're always multiplying. Finally, is it rusty? Yeah, it is. That multiplier is 5. I mean, it's wasabi. Sabi's in the title. Rust is the thing. So we multiply all that together, and this car gets a score of 1,800, which is a score that doesn't really mean anything until we compare it to another car. It's a score you can relate to other cars in. I mean, 1,800 is just a lucky. It's irrelevant that it got to that number, if you know what I'm saying. Anyway, so I'll be back next Saturday with another Wasabi Cars video, and we're going to roll out this W.A.N.G. We're going to measure other cars against the W.A.N.G. And I'll see you next Saturday, so take it easy, everyone. Love yous all, and goodbye.